Hey, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my performance review of the Nike Lebron Witness 5. So this shoe is going for $100 and this is basically LeBron James's budget line, right? So of course LeBron James has his signature line, which we're on the LeBron 18 right now. Then there's the LeBron Soldier line, which we're on the LeBron Soldier 14, and then of course the LeBron Ambassador line, which is kind of like overseas, so we don't really care about that all too much here in the US. And then of course his budget line. This shoe is going for $100. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But let's get it started off with the Tracciones, right? So yeah, as far as the durability goes, no. It's a very bad. As you guys can see, this outsole is literally worn down all the way to the max. You know, at any more, it's probably going to go into the zoom unit. And yeah, durability is terrible. So do not play with this shoe outdoors at all. But it had a really good bite. You know, I never had an issue with slipping out, maybe just a little bit sometimes, but other than that, I mean, the bite was very consistent and very good on an outdoor court. I was not able to try this out on the indoor court, unfortunately, because they closed everything down again. You know, we're going into another lockdown here in LA County, so I'm sorry about that. So I couldn't really try it out inside, so I'm sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I mean, the traction was really fun to play in. You know, like I said, I didn't have to worry about it at all, just besides the durability, I guess. Alright, as far as the heel to toe transition goes, it's very smooth. You know, you got a very nice curve shape here in the heel and a really nice curve shape here in the forefoot. It's actually very insane, right? You guys see how much it curves up? And it reminds me a lot of the LeBron 16, where like if you put a little bit of your weight here into your toe, it just wants to like move forward and rock forward, and I really love that feeling. So yeah, heel to toe transition is very smooth, and you got a good amount of forefoot flex, you know, because it is articulated here, even though you have pretty large volume zoom units here in the forefoot. As far as the cushioning setup goes, you know, you got a full length phylon and it actually doesn't feel that bad. There's a good amount of heel compression. It feels a little bouncy, just a tiny bit though. I would say it's more like just soft, you know. And then here in the forefoot, of course, you have these bottom loaded zoom units. You got two of them, and the zoom units are okay. You know, you don't really feel zoom right underneath your foot like, you know, the KD12 or the KD13 or even in LeBron 18, you know, where the zoom unit's pretty much right underneath your foot. Like I said, it's bottom loaded, so I mean, you do feel the zoom unit, but it's more just like a trampoline effect, you know. Like your foot isn't on top of that zoom, but then like right underneath your foot, it's kind of stiff, and then you have that zoom unit that's kind of like bouncing up and down, you know. And also the placement of the zoom unit is a little weird, right? So it's not right where the ball of my foot is. It's kind of like underneath that, you know what I'm saying? So literally the ball of my foot is right here, and it was kind of weird feeling it right here. It was more in my midfoot, but you know, it still gave me a little bit of bounce and it felt pretty nice. It's basically the same as LeBron Witness 4. If you tried that out and you liked it, you probably like it here in the LeBron Witness 5. The court feel is okay. You know, I'd say it's pretty similar to the PG4. You know, it's not terrible, it's not like super good and very low to the ground like the Harden Volume 4, but I'd say it's adequate enough for me. Impact protection was good. My feet actually really didn't hurt at all. Like I said, the nice little bounce you get from the forefoot zoom units propels you forward and feels pretty nice when you're kind of like running down the court. All right, as far as the materials go, I really like it. You know, they're using a mesh material here in the forefoot and here in the midfoot. It's super thin. It's very well ventilated. It conforms to your foot very well. And it's just a really cozy and very comfortable material. I don't know how they made this material like cozy on your foot, but they did. Because it's just a thin material. Like you wouldn't think it would be like comfortable or cozy, but it actually is. Here in the ankle area, it's pretty terrible as far as the quality of materials go. It's like a synthetic fused material, but you don't really feel that on your foot, so it's not a huge deal. The shoe is pretty much a one booty upper, kind of, you know. So the tongue is attached to this upper like mesh material right here in the forefoot, and then it kind of becomes an independent tongue because it's not attached to this ankle area. So I guess it's more like a half booty construction. And then here in the ankle area, you have a little bit of padding, especially here in the back of the heel where your Achilles is. So I really like the materials. For $100, it feels awesome on foot. It looks pretty dope as far as like the forefoot materials go. and it feels pretty damn nice in hand. So for 100 bucks, they did the materials really well. Alright, moving on to the fit. I went true to size and it fits me very well. You know, my toes literally go right to the edge. Width-wise, it's pretty snug, so just watch out for that. You know, it wasn't choking my foot out or anything, but it was just a nice snug fit, as well as here in the toe box area. You know, it wasn't choking my foot out like the KD13s or like the Kyrie 7 is, but there wasn't a whole lot of dead space. If you have a wide foot or you like to have a roomier fit in your shoes, I would suggest going up half a size. And it's just like throughout this entire forefoot and also coming up here into the midfoot, it's just a nice snug fit, which I really like. So I didn't really have to tighten the laces all too much here. The shoe is pretty easy to put on. You know, you have a nice large heel tab and the tongue doesn't open up like that much, but it opens up enough to where you can slide your foot in pretty comfortably and pretty easily. As far as the support and lockdown goes, it felt really good to me. Yeah, I actually had no issues with my foot feeling like it was going out of the footbed, which is very interesting, right? So if you look in the forefoot, there's really nothing caging you. It's just this material, and you would think that it wouldn't be that like supportive, but for me it was adequate enough. But also keep in mind, I am pretty light. Like if you're heavier and you do a lot of lateral movements, a lot of shifting moves, I would definitely watch out for that. But for me personally, I didn't really have any issues. Lateral stability was also pretty good. You know, for some reason, like Nike shoes, especially like in LeBron's, they're not super wide, right? But you know, it didn't feel like I want to roll my ankle or anything. You're pretty low to the ground. It's a fairly wide base, and here in this zoom unit on the lateral side, you do have a little bit of an outrigger, so I felt laterally stable. As far as ankle support goes, you don't really get all too much. Like you have this part coming up, you know, like in front of your ankle bone, so it does give you a little bit of ankle movement restriction, but not all too much. All right, as far as the weight goes, it's probably gonna be pretty light. Yeah, so 12.17 ounces. And then the other pair is 12.1 ounces, right? So pretty damn light. The average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces. So it's a little bit lighter than normal. And it definitely feels very light and very minimal on foot. You know, like I said, this material is just super thin. The cushion doesn't protrude out like crazy or anything. It feels a little bottom heavy just because of how minimal the upper is. But you know, overall, the weight distribution and balance in the shoe is pretty good. So yeah, it was just a shoe that I can rely on. I could play in it without, you know, worrying about it being very bulky or very heavy. It just kind of felt like an extension of my foot, which is a really good thing to say about a shoe, right? As for the ventilation is actually pretty damn good. Like I keep saying, this material, this mesh material is super thin. So when you blow through it, you have a little bit of airflow. It's not super glued down or anything, so it wicks away moisture pretty well. So your foot is going to be very well ventilated and very cool in this shoe. As far as the aesthetics go, I really like this shoe. You know, I really like this colorway. First of all, it's kind of like a Lakers colorway. You know, the yellow is gold, and then of course you have some purple, and you have a black base on the shoe. And also, a lot of you guys said this shoe looks like the KD9, and I 100% agree with you. And the KD9 was also a very good looking shoe in my opinion. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, the LeBron Witness 5, guys. Oh my god. Is it a nice shoe to play in? It's a very nice shoe to play in, and it's only $100. It's a budget shoe. And I don't know what it is, guys, but Nike's been killing it in the budget game, you know? Not in quality, you know, as far as the quality goes, it's not the best, you know, like the KT5 low or like the KT Splash 2 with like the really nice knits and stuff like that. It doesn't really compare in that way, but the overall performance of the LeBron Witness 5 is just amazing, right? Like I said, the cushion is good, traction is good, materials are nice, very comfortable on foot, support is there, it feels very light and minimal on foot, and it's also a great looking shoe, and it's a relatively cheap shoe as well. So I would 100% recommend it, you know, for most people as well, whether you're a big guy or a guard. Like I said, the only thing I would watch out for is the lateral containment here in the forefoot area. I personally didn't experience anything bad here in the lateral containment area, but if you're a little bit bigger, I would suggest watching out for that. So yeah, the LeBron Witness 5, surprisingly enough, I really enjoyed playing in that shoe. And I was playing in this as well as the Kawhis, you know, I was testing both of those shoes out. And after I was done testing the Kawhis, I was super happy to put these shoes on and play with these instead. But anyways, again, if you guys do want to cop this shoe, I'll leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.